So we're going to be using the data table feature to generate some values for us. And this is another form of what-if analysis. And right now, we have a total cost, and we have the number of units produced. And to figure out the cost per unit, we've taken that total cost and divided it by the number of units. And what we would like to do is kind of plug in these different values over here for the total cost. We're not changing the units, okay? We're just plugging in different values for the total cost, and we'd like to see the results. And there is a one variable data table that we can use, and it'll generate values for us. And you might be thinking, well, if we've got total cost and we've got units, those are two values. Well, we're only changing one of them. Okay? It is the total cost that is changing. That is why we are dealing with a one variable data table. Okay? So it's referring to how many things are changing. Now to set this up, this is the values that we want to plug in. And right next to that, this is where the results should go. So right above the results, we're going to click, that is where the equation needs to go. Now we have the equation down in B12. So what we're going to do here is key in equal B12. And this is a linking formula. So it's basically going to be pulling in that result from the equation. And when we use the data table, it's actually going to use that equation. So at this point, we have everything we need to tell Excel to generate this table. What we have to do next is highlight the right range of cells. And this is probably the most critical thing that you do when you are creating this kind of table. So the range that we need to highlight actually needs to be kind of where your equation and the values that you're going to sub in intersect. So we're starting in E5. And we're going to go across to F and all the way down through our last value. Okay, we have to highlight this whole chunk. If you highlight the wrong thing, it's not going to work. Okay, so that's a critical step. And then we're going to go into what-if analysis, and we're going to choose data table. Row input we are going to leave blank because our data is in rows. Okay, here's the value we're going to plug in. Here's where the result goes. Value, result, it's all done by row. For the column input, that is going to be B10. So you can key in B10 or you can click on it, either way. But once you've put in your column input, I'm going to click OK. And you can see that it did generate values for us. So at this point, we're going to save our changes, and then you can close out of the workbook.